What up, nation? Welcome to another edition of the WiseTake NBA DFS Early Look. CK013 here. You can find me on Twitter at CK_013. And I, of course, am from WiseTake Nation, which you can find on all the social media platforms listed below or directly at wisetake.com. We are a premium DFS content provider as well as a DFS community design to help make you a better DFS player. Go check us out at wisetake.com for more details if you're looking to take your DFS game to the next level. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Please hit the subscribe button, notifications bell on, and subscribe to the channel. And hit the like button. Likes really help us out, allow us to continue to do what we do, allow us to continue to do dirty on the YouTube and Twitch networks, Podbean, iTunes, everything else. That being said, let's go ahead and jump in to our first look. We've got the Brooklyn Nets kind of headlining things once again. Sorry, I'm taking a little bit of a sweat here, so I'm just maybe I should have waited another couple minutes before I did this. But in all seriousness, the nation's red hot right now. Red hot, for real. Anyway, we know Kyrie Irving is still on his quarantine, right? 7-day quarantine. I'm sorry, Kevin Durant's on a 7-day quarantine. We got Kyrie Irving against Philly. We expect this to be a more competitive game. We do know that Philly's on the back end of a back-to-back, but Kyrie once again is the optimal, I think, as well as Karis LeVert. LeBron James is currently questionable. Keep an eye on that. That'll obviously open up a lot if he's out, but he seems like he's questionable every single day. But yeah, so you'll get Damian Lillard has a phenomenal matchup against Minnesota. They're just not good against point guards, but CJ McCollum has kind of been doing the alpha thing. But once again, similar to the last situation, it's a low-owned situation. We have a smaller slate, so the ownership on Philly is going to be extremely concentrated like it was last time. But Kyrie and Karis LeVert are once again going to steal the show, at least in my opinion. Now, we did see the starting lineup was weird, so we'll have to see what the lineup's going to look like. Luckily, this is the first game, so we should have that lineup. Lineup was very, very strange. That being said, we'll have to see what they do this time. They're playing Philly, so maybe it was more of a matchup situation with Utah opposed to Philly. I'm not sure, but we'll have to keep an eye on that. If LeVert starts, he'll be popular. If LeVert comes off the bench after what we saw last game, that would lead me to believe his ownership may be lower than it should be. But obviously, those are the first two guys you're going to make your decisions on. Ben Simmons' price has come down. He only goes for 50 against Charlotte, so this is not Charlotte. But it is, in all seriousness, Kyrie Irving not known for his defense. McCollum, 8,500, but he's earned it. I mean, he's been pretty consistent. With Michael Porter Jr. out, Jamal Murray and Jokic have really gotten big boosts, and we've seen them take full advantage of that. Sexton, we know, was playing big minutes. Went for 36 against Orlando. 8 for 20 shots, though. It, wasn't all that efficient. Doesn't do as much on the assist front. But look who he's playing with. He's playing Memphis, though. Should be a nice little better pace. Maybe. Tyus Jones is a pretty good defender. That's really what he's known for. But, again, he's going to play a ton of minutes at the end of the day. Ton of minutes. No Garland. They're just thin. All right? They're just thin. That's the bottom line. Ricky Rubio has dropped to 4.8. But I can't say he hasn't earned it. And I don't see any reason to believe that they're going to start playing him more aggressively. Kind of leaves us high and dry. But, obviously, again, at point guard, Kyrie, Karis LeVert are leading the way here. Going to shooting guard, maybe Brooks could finally do something. The usage is there, I believe. He's just not alphaing. He's not an alpha. What it is. John Morant is the alpha. He's not an alpha. Dylan Brooks is not John Morant. But at 6'3" against a bad Cleveland defense, maybe this is the spot where he finally does something. It is a small slate, too. So I'm a little more open-minded. Seth Curry's been doing really well, man. Look at Seth Curry against Washington. 11 for 14. Super high-efficient game. He's doing it, man. He's been doing well. He has. Dotson is 4,800 now. Against Orlando, only played 16 minutes. That's not good. I don't know why the hell he's expensive like that. That's crazy. Lonnie Walker's price is low. He's playing big minutes, just not doing a whole ton with it. Right? Bruce Brown started, and had he gotten more than 23 minutes, he would have smashed. He was on pace to smash. So keep an eye out on that situation again if he starts. Maybe he would have played more if the game wasn't such a disastrous blowout, because Utah sucks. Utah, by the way, did lose to the Knicks. I said on the pre-lock wise stream before. Anyway, Michael Porter Jr. is back in. Okay, he's available. So scratch what I said about Jamal Murray. I mean, he's still fine, but it's not as good of a spot. So scratch what I said about that. Like Murray gets a boost. Murray and Jokic get boosts when that situation happens. Kyle Anderson. I'd be willing to go back to Kyle Anderson. Again, this matchup's a little bit different. All right, look what he did against Charlotte. Cleveland's more like Charlotte, right? Not like the Lakers. So I can go back to Kyle Anderson. Keldon Johnson, man, this guy's been good. He's been really good. 6'5" is a little expensive for me, but he's been good. And when he played the Lakers, once before he played the Lakers, and he went for 48. So LMA was out, I believe, but still. Chetty Burgers got 30. 1 for 12. Holy shit. Yes, 1 for 12. He got 25 DraftKings points, and he was 1 for 12. That's kind of interesting, and that makes me want to maybe play a little bit because that's wild. Rudy Gay, 4.8's really cheap. I would imagine he's going to pop for us on the projections. The minutes right around, maxed out around 25. Nothing special, but I would imagine we see something like that. What else? Okoro's only 4K. What did he do? 28 minutes in his first game back. Didn't do shit. But 28 minutes against Cleveland, they don't got bodies. You know, what's his name? Maybe he's not in this position. TLC. Ended up playing 24 minutes. He ended up playing more than Bruce Brown in that blowout game. So if we see a similar lineup, I'm not opposed to going back to him. I feel like if the game was more competitive, he would have gotten more run. And in 24 minutes, 16's not great. But again, if he were to get 30, he probably would have hit value or at least come close. So I'm open to going back to that. Power forwards. Anthony Davis is questionable. He's another one. Him and LeBron, always questionable. That's how they do that. Went for 58 against Memphis. Good matchup here against the Spurs. He did go for 38 once and 62 once. We know the Spurs struggle against big, so that's a thing. The pricing for a lot of these guys is just not all that great. Larry Nance, he stands out because of the minutes. He's been terrible. But both games were against Orlando. Maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. But we saw him against Atlanta, had a big game. I think the faster paced matchups are good for him, and I got to check the pace with how Memphis is doing without Ja Morant. But normally they are a fairly fast team. Normally. Brandon Clark just can't come through for me, but this is a spot where you should be able to do so. Similar to Bagley. I've been playing Bagley every day. We finally caught Bagley. I'll be doing something similar with Brandon Clark. I'll be continuing to play him, especially with these guys out, and just kind of wait for that moment for him to do what he's supposed to do, which is that dirty. So I'll continue to play Brandon Clark at 5'3". We know he's got the upside. He just hasn't delivered, but we know he's got the upside. Juancho, who's going to chase Juancho? I think that was just a revenge thing. He was back in Denver. Things went well for him. He won me a lot of money that day, so I'm not going to sit there and bitch. But Vanderbilt got 23 minutes against Denver, right? Haven't seen him get that kind of work, but obviously the Ed Davis thing isn't really working for him. The Naz Reid thing isn't really working for him. Maybe it's because they played Jokic 2 times in a row. I don't know. But something to keep an eye on, especially because he's forward eligible. Keep an eye on. Going over to centers, we got Jokic. With Porter back, that's going to be a little bit of an impact on the usage, and his price is really up there. But he's been phenomenal this year, man. He's been awesome. Great spot for Joel Embiid, who just went for 66 DraftKings points against Washington in an awesome game. Shout out to Bradley Beal, 30%. He was 3% on. Let's go. We got Joe Val's all right. He's been also disappointing. You would expect him to get more minutes, right? Especially against the Lakers. Like, why didn't he get more minutes? One of them games was close. Disappointing. I think Nurk Dogg finally did a little something. Yeah, Nurk Dogg came through against the Bulls. He did. Against Minnesota, it's a phenomenal spot also. So I think going back to Nurkic, maybe in the plans. Do we see anything else that stands out? Not a ton that really stands out and grabs my attention. We'll take a look. Willie Cauley-Stein did get 24 minutes against Houston. That was interesting. We've seen him in the past with the Kings, and we know he can be a high point per minute average player. But we'll have to see. Dig in. It was just one game. We don't want to rely on that as a sample. So right out the gate, we know in closing, we've got Kyrie Irving and we've got Karis LeVert. Now, again, I'm assuming that they're going to try to start these guys because going up against Philly, maybe the matchup's different and they feel like they need these guys. Maybe. I'm just speculating. I don't know. Why can't I find... Oh, I picked the wrong team. LeVert. Oh, LeVert is point guard and small forward now. Well, that's nice. But I think you're starting with the Brooklyn guys again. Now, last time, you were better off fading all of them, right? LeVert didn't get enough run. Kyrie went for 50, which was cash game value, not enough in tournaments, and the ownership was high. Curious on your thoughts as to how you're going to approach this slate. Do you plan on going underweight or fading Kyrie Irving or the Nets in general, or the specific ones you're going to take? If I was going to box one out, I guess I would box out Kyrie in tournaments just because LeVert's cheaper, but I like them both as of now. But of course, it's the night before, as always. So we'll have to wait and see there. But you let me know, Nation. What are you planning on doing with Philly? I want to know from you. I want to know from. Shout out to Nelson in the chat. Says he took first place. That's what's up. That's what's up. Oh yeah, shout out to Weiner Diner 49er. Yes, that's the DraftKings handle. Gave me a shout out on Twitter. Says he watches the early look show every single day. All the WiseTake shows on YouTube. Won 35 grand the other night on a single bullet. 35 G's on DraftKings on a single bullet. You could check out his lineup. We retweeted it on the Twitter at wise_take and mine too at CK_013. So we appreciate the shout out. And obviously it was all you that built the team, man. You're the one that went down and made the click. So we appreciate the shout out. But at the same time, props to you for doing the dirty. That's what we like to do. That's going to do it for me now. Small slate. Take advantage of it. All the content as usual at wisetake.com. You can get a day pass. Try us out, $2.50, all it costs to try us out. You get my projections. Was pretty much what got me where I was today, because I really didn't have a good grasp on the slate. That's outside of Bagley and Boogie Cousins when that opened up. But I just relied on the projections and today, and it did me right. You're right. I think we're looking at, what, 3 or 4? Check right now. But I only want to check if the other game. Nope, not quite. Still got some time in this one. I'll take a peek anyway. Okay, we're up to like 4,700. I got the ended at that. I'll take that. Take that as a dub. But yeah. So go check us out. Day pass, $2.50. You get my projections, FanDuel, DraftKings, cheat sheets, FanDuel, DraftKings, Paulie D's fast break sheet, which is awesome. Gives him his core, all that kind of stuff. Player pool, really cool sheet. Of course, I write a core plays article covering cash and tournament cores, and then we get our pre-lock live stream. We hop on there for 45 minutes prior to lock. We break down position by position after research, after news has come out. And then most importantly, we build our teams while we're keeping y'all updated with the news, discussing how we plan on reacting, all that good shit. AD says it could definitely see Philly resting someone. It's possible. And if it does, this all goes to shit, right? Because then we're looking at maybe another blowout. I don't know. All right, Nation. That's it for me. Hit the like button. Appreciate you from myself, the entire WiseTake Nation. As always, good luck.
Yeah.